So an uncontested divorce is when both parties have an agreement as to how their marriage is going to be dissolved. How are the assets going to be divided? How are the debts going to be divided? What's the parenting time, if applicable? What's the spousal support, child support? When all of those issues are resolved and they're codified in an agreement, then we can notify the court that the matter's settled, and the court can put it through for what's called an uncontested divorce, which is basically a short procedural hearing that legally dissolves the marriage between the parties. If somebody comes to us and they already have a signed agreement in place, we're then just filing the application with the court. That can take anywhere from a couple weeks to a couple months, depending on the court's timing and how long it takes them to list the matter for a hearing. If you have a verbal agreement that needs to be drafted up and codified into a marital settlement agreement, that could take a little bit longer. I always tell my clients that I have no control over what the other side does. So if they take a long time to review it or they have a ton of changes, the process is going to take longer. But if everybody's reasonable and everybody's working in an expedited manner, it's still not going to be that long. The difference is really just the amount of time it takes to get the agreement itself drafted and in place. An important thing to understand is that if you are in a contested divorce where you're in litigation, you can resolve your matter by agreement at any time and convert it to an uncontested matter and have the court put it through. People will ask why a contested divorce is more common, and that's because people really don't know how they want to resolve their case. A contested divorce really is just a term of art to describe a matter that's open to the court where the parties don't have an agreement in place. So once that happens, you move through the process. You have to have discovery and asset valuations and financial affidavit preparation, and it becomes more of an information gathering expedition. And at that point, once you have an idea of what both parties have, then you can move on working on how you want to resolve the case. But almost every case that gets filed where there isn't a settlement agreement in place is contested from the fact that the parties are not in agreement as to how the matter should resolve. I always tell people that it's better to have a lawyer for a contested divorce because the attorney knows the law. They know the nuances. They know what protections need to be put in place. They think of things that most people won't think of. I've had clients who have done divorce themselves, and then I read their agreement and I have so many questions, and it ends up costing them more to fix those mistakes after the fact than had they just hired an attorney from the start to get their divorce finalized. If you have any questions about uncontested divorce, give us a call at Smedley Law Group. We're happy to help.